Pichau, it has some pictures. It's a city. It's a city built up in the mountains. You see how it looks? Now you can't see. The Urubamba River runs down by that. Okay, so when the Spanish came and they took over, they killed a lot of the nobles and the people in Cusco, the Inca capital at that time. Cusco was the Inca capital. The noble people fled and they ran away to this place and they climbed up this high mountain and they built that city. You see, that city is terraced. That was a city. People used to live there. It's now an archaeological dig. But it's there because the nobles that was defeated by the Spanish ran away from Cusco, the Inca capital, and they ran and they built a city up on top of the mountain. You can't see it see, if you're walking on a trail by the river and you look up, you can't see that city because it's up on top of the mountain. You see what I mean? So the Spanish used to have teams of people looking for them, going down everything, and they couldn't find them. They was up there. They were up there. All right. So to a lot of people, that's not a big, the place was rediscovered in 1911, Hiram something or other. The point I'm making is the pyramids of Egypt, when they talk about the 7 wonders of the world, I've visited most of those places. But none of that is more important than the work that we do here. None of it. I'm just making those points. They all have the historical realities. We use all of that history to help us direct our work and to know what's important in this life. A lot of people don't know what's important and they act real stupid. The man went up and slapped the other man on the TV in front of the whole world. It's supposed to be his night of glory and he blew it. Why? Because he couldn't control his lady, and he felt, no. The ghost of Tupac Shakur was hanging around because that lady, his wife, was technically in love with Tupac Shakur, and she felt he was the only man that she ever knew because he came out of the street. And a guy that does movies, what was it, Fair Prince of Bel-Air? You can't learn nothing there, right? The difference between what Tupac was to those Hollywood actresses is only a piece, the difference between us and all the Negroes. All the Negroes are actors. If they're not given a part, they don't know what to say. We ain't going for it. If you want to be happy, it is possible. You're going to have to leave boss man behind. It is possible to be happy in this world with all of this dumb fitna. But you got to be locked in straight. You know. In closing, transformation, transcendence, or transformation, transition, and transition. Transformation is to change. Make it. Transition is to move from one place to the other. We move. And transcendence, when you outgrow all the gravitational pulls of everything that's holding you down. Transcendence. You transcend whatever it is you're trying to transcend. You don't get an award for it, a medal, you just know when you've done it. In closing, strategic depth. We were not successful in either stage of our rebellion in the United States because we didn't have strategic depth. We didn't have time to dig deep into the soil of America and to come up with policies that would be called strategic brilliance. What we're doing is called strategic brilliance. It's brilliant because nobody that you know can come before you talking about anything that's had their head busted wide open by Negroes and they haven't responded to it because they haven't transcended, they haven't got that far. They ain't got nowhere close. It can't have nothing to do with fear because if you laughing and making fun of boss man and everybody else is shaking in their boots about him, well, how could you be afraid of a Negro? You're not afraid of the Negro because every time they wanted to bring one Negro down, they had another Negro attack him and then they fought that Negro. We wouldn't even think about doing that, fighting another Negro. That's why I tell everybody to come here, don't go tell no Negro that we said nothing about him. If you did, you have to bring them here so we can explain to them in front of their face what we meant and what we said. So that's why we said don't repeat none of that bunk to nobody. Strategic alliance, strategic ability and strategic capability. So what if people undermine and try? At first, they think they're getting away with something because they figure you gonna boss man and whoop everybody else. Boss man gonna whoop you too, nigga. You ain't gonna be around but 3 more weeks. That's what they think. And then year after year after year, you're still here. Now you gotta remember now, if you're still here, longevity, right? Protractedness, and our clock, morality, ethics, they don't go together in America. You don't get those two together. You're going to have morality, you're going to have ethics, and you're going to have longevity where? In what industry? In politics, you can't do it. In movies, you can't do it. Right? If you say, I'm not going to make no such kind of movies, I said, but you won't make no more movies. Right? In politics, go tell the people the truth. See how long you're around. Yeah, go ahead. You won't get no longevity. You won't get none. Now, strategic alliances, we are aligned even with interference. We are aligned with the struggling peoples of the world. We're aligned with them. We're either aligned with them or somebody in there knows certain things about us. They've either been here or been around here, or they've mumbled or stumbled and mentioned stuff, or took a look and headed on about their business so they would survive. Because their mission that they're on is more important than coming by here and getting their picture took shaking hands with us. Strategic ability and capability, I'm not bragging, but I'm just telling in case anybody's listening, look, it ain't nobody so far, just read American history. It ain't nobody that can mention all the places that we just mentioned and been there and seen them and worked with people involved in the things at that time, right? So strategic ability, I visualize we'll be here slapping boss man upside the head or rubbing his head. It's going to be bald-headed and it's going to be shiny. It won't be long. You notice when things get ready to, you get a taste. We have a taste, a feel for the historical process. That's why we say hold it. We can't put no guarantee on these times anymore or how long it's going to be. All the strategic alliances we've talked about in the past have all worked out, and they're here present today, and they have worked out and accomplished what they was meant to accomplish when nobody else was thinking about it. When they were sad because that happened, we said ain't sad. Okay. Strategic positioning, we'll talk about it again later. But it means what I think always means. A setback ain't nothing but a setup for a comeback. So a setback, if you're in the right frame of mind, puts you in a position to make a strike at coming back and doing what you was meant to do all the time. Okay, strategic position. And this is Boss Man, again, for the 1000th time. Trapped in the headlights of history. If you drive out on the highway every now and then, you look up and you see some eyes pointing at you. That's the eyes of a deer or something like that. And they're hypnotized. They can't move. They're trapped in the headlights. Boss Man is trapped in the headlights of history. Boy, is he trapped. He can't do anything right. It's like Latin America, how could I blow it? Well, I could blow it by doing this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what does he do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he's standing there like that, trapped in the headlights of history. It's like you're on automatic pilot. That means that the things that will bring America down, you don't have to do nothing but stay out of the way. He's already doing it. You cannot increase his level, his rate of decline. You can't. I don't know what you could do. What could you do to decrease? What could you do to make America tell all of its allies, don't do this, don't do that, and they don't do it, and they're starving to death, and he's doing it? We don't want y'all to buy no gas, no nothing from what is bad, right? And the dumb Europeans, they doing it for a minute, but they really not doing it. They saying, can you imagine what's going to happen or what is happening to the Europeans? They're falling apart. That's what happens when the empire starts cracking. It cracks this way, it cracks that way. America's done. I don't see nothing it could do. It could change and do right, but I think it's too late for that. Huh? Well, we're going to do all we can to save the good people, but I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I don't think I'm half with you and half not with you. Here's where I'm with you. I'm with you because it's our job. The American people are like people throughout history. They're misled and misguided. And technically, it's not their fault that they're misled. Pharaoh had shiny stuff and it caught them. That's what the Quran said. And these people got shiny stuff. Okay. Now, as far as America as a system, we want to rescue the people and not the system.
The system that World War II that won, the system that won World War II, the greatest generation.
That's what you say is the greatest generation. I said that's what the white folks say. They call it the greatest generation. Them white folks that went to World War II. That wasn't in America. That wasn't the greatest generation. The greatest generation in America was us from 65 on up. Anti-Vietnam, make love, not war. That was the greatest generation. Okay, and World War II, When you're on the way up, you're headed up. Look at America. Let's take World War I and World War II before we close. World War I, the people in Europe are fighting from 1914 to 1917 before America comes in. America comes in the war in 1917. So it's 3 years of war. All of Europe is tired. America comes in, they don't lose nothing. They don't, no cities. Paris, the Germans are 40 miles from Paris. All the death traps in the cities of Europe destroyed. America didn't have none of that. Then they come in fresh. They already got their machinery working. All the weapons that are being built for Europe, the American are building up those weapons and selling them for it. And then they're going to get paid from Europe. They charge in Europe.